Hello, this is LVX Magic, and this is my tutorial on Nifter scoping. Nifscope. So this is going to be a basic how-to video, and this is actually for a friend, but this is for everybody that wants to watch. I'm going to try to get everything in as much as possible in the fastest time I can. So, well, let's talk about it. I would like to talk about what Nifscope can do and what it can't. Nifscope is a program that allows you to make items for Skyrim and Fallout or any BGS Game Studios game, and it has its advantages and its disadvantages. Excuse me for the background music. I'm a one-take kind of guy. So anyways, when you're using Nifscope, obviously you have like these crazy ideas that you want to do this and you want to do that, but there's a lot of quirks in it. It's because it's a third-party program. I don't believe Bethesda had anything to do with this program, which actually I almost like 100% believe that. So let's jump into it. So this is Nifscope. I have the latest version. You're going to want to go down to the site. I'll leave the info in the description. It looks intimidating, but I'm going to show you real quick that it's not. It's made up it's just made of this window with this toolbar, and I'll show you what everything does. What you're going to want to do is first set up your resources to point to your data folder, or else you're not going to be able to see the textures from the game. Everything's going to be pink. You're not going to be able to see anything, so you're going to want to jump into settings, go down to options, settings, resources, archive path. First, you're going to want to put all of the textures.ba2s I have it from Fallout 4, and then Skyrim Special Edition. Hold on a second. So this will point to everything in Bethesda games as far as textures go. So like a barrel or a leaf or you name it, a chest or a block or anything that has a texture. You get the point. Moving on. Let's get into it. The best way I can show you is by working a NIF. So up here I have pulled 3 NIFs out of the Bethesda Game Studios BSAs. What you're going to want to do is download something called a BSA Unpacker, and I believe you can get this on the Nexus. I'll leave the description in the description where to get that too. So you're going to want to unpack all your BSAs in your Skyrim folder into another folder. You're not going to want to keep them. I have it on a separate drive. I have Fallout Skyrim LE, where I just named it Skyrim, and then I have Skyrim SSE NIFs or resources, all packed, everything from music scripts, blah 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 blah. So I have the meshes, and they're all put into here. Usually go to clutter. That's where 90% of your NIFs that you're going to want to work with are. You can click on them. They have we're actually going to be using a barrel, but they pop open like that. It's not very sophisticated. So let's start our NIF. So I made a copy of Statue of Mara. Okay. I'm gonna rename it. Renaming the NIF does nothing to the NIF. Excuse me. So I named it My Mara. Okay, now we're in the window of Mara. And, not quite the Temple of Mara, but the window of Mara. And you'll notice that you see these red lines. Up here is your toggle for all this stuff. That means that is the collision. That's the collision box of when you go walking into a statue and it stops you. That's what it does. That is what creates your collision. Well, that is one thing that NIFScope does not do, is add collision to your NIFs. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. And I have another tutorial about adding collision to NIFs, which I'll leave in the description also. But that's not going to be focused on this tutorial because it'll be way too long. So let's get into it. I want to make something cool with Mara. I want to make something like what a modder would do in, you know, you see the resource packs. Okay, so I open up, I pulled a couple NIFs and I opened up one of them, and what you have is a barrel, and then on the side here you have a tree. Now it looks intimidating at first, but I'll explain what this node is. This green dot right here, or no, is the center of gravity for the NIF. If it was a helmet, that's where it would connect. If your player was to land on it, that's where it connects. They're called nodes. There's all kinds of nodes. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. You can even animate the barrel to go floating away, or explode, or do whatever you want. But that's advanced stuff. We don't care about that. But the flags are different flags that tell you if it's a complex shape, or if it has ragdoll collision, or it has havoc, which we want havoc, or if it's animated, if you're making like a boat like bob up and down in the water, or if it has gears or something, or if it's a 3D mesh that like fire, that would be an animated part. So rigid or collision, these are called trees, by the way. A collision is the red part right here. If I delete this collision box by removing branch, it takes collision away. You would walk right through this, but we don't want to do that. So I'm going to hit no. I'm going to reopen it. Now to the fun part. All you need to know really to begin with is I want to get this barrel into this NIF with Mara. So I'm going to go to this tree. I'm going to go to this tree, and I'm going to right click, block, copy branch. I'm going to come over to Mara, and I'm going to go to the fade node, the top one. I'm going to go right click, paste branch. As you can see, there it is. So how do I move it? Like what's the deal with that? What you're going to want to do is right click on the shape. If you click on Mara or that, it'll show you what's going on. But I'm going to right click on the barrel, and you want to go to transform and then edit. And then a little box will show up. Basically, it gives you the ability to move the NIFs around. So what I do is I click on it and I just use the arrows. Let's maximize Mara for a minute. I'm gonna move the barrel. So y-axis and then z-axis. You just want to play with it. I don't even know what they are really. Um, uh, I without messing around with them. I never memorize this stuff. It's really easy. Okay, so we have it in that position, right? So the only way that it'll work is if you hit accept. You'll notice on this side, when you translate something, it'll keep the original. If it was 000, it would be the original number of where it was. So that's where it's been translated to. So if you want to really keep clean NIFs, you're going to go to apply. And what that does is that sets it to 0. Mara is at 0 too. So both these, if I go up to fade node and I hit edit, they'll both move together. If you don't like what you did, just hit reject. It'll go right back to it. So we got that. There we go. But you see how this doesn't have the red mesh going around it? Well, that's because there's no collision on the barrel. You would walk through the barrel. Like I said, you're going to have to go through the tutorial on how to add collision, because there's absolutely no way to add collision in NifScope. I don't know why they didn't add that feature, but it would have been great. But it's not there. So you have to use a program called Chunk Merge, and I have a Chunk Merge video that'll show you how to do that. So moving on now. I want to put a chest. Now, I'm going to show you something with the tree. These are called tri-shapes. The actual shapes of the box. I think even the latch has a tri-shape. They all fall under either a 9 node, which all a 9 node means is a category, or a form of category to move the object around, to be able to put multiple tri-shapes into one category so you can move that around or animate it. You can copy this branch to Mara, but you're gonna have another BS fade node. Do you see? Every single NIF only has one BS fade node. That's like the rule. It doesn't matter if you have it in there. I've never noticed a difference, but everybody I've talked to that are really good at this are always like, you have more than one BS fade node. Well, if that's the problem, you can just go to remove. But see, Mara is now in the way of the it, and there's no way for me to move it around because I deleted the fade node, which has everything underneath it. So what I'm gonna do is just move Mara over a bit. Just click on her. There's an easy way to find her. Mara is just one piece. So let's just, you see how I move Mara, and then that collision doesn't move. That's why you need to watch the Chunk Merge video, because you won't be able to get rid of that. If I move, let's say, this 9 node over, let's hit accept. Actually, let's do this. Apply, so it's 0. Apply, so that's 0. You can go transfer, transform, sorry. Let's go, where do we want it? Hit reject. Let's go over here and watch up here. 117, hit copy, accept, go to the other 9 node since the tri-shape is already in the 9 node. Let me turn off the collision so it's not so confusing. Or I mean, so you can see it better. And then I'm going to come here and I'm going to go paste, bam. There you go, see? It's missing its latch, is it? No, it's not. See, because it's under the 9 node. I was able to do that. Now, if I wanted to, this is an advanced part. I hope I'm not moving too fast, but if you wanted to go block, insert, nine node, you gotta copy branch and then move it to the fade node, paste branch. Sometimes this is very finicky, and then you remove. And there's another thing. When you're working, you always want to go to sanitize, reorder blocks, and it will correct your tree. Well, let's skip that part because it's not doing it. And wait a minute. Yeah, it is. Sorry, we are. These parts aren't in there. Okay. We want to delete this controller, which allows the chest to open and close because we're just going to use it as static. And you can go to remove branch, and these BSX flags go to the chest. We don't need that, so we can remove that. So we have 9 node. I'm going to go copy branch, paste branch, and then I'm going to go down to the next one, copy branch, paste branch. Now these two, I'll show you. There's a copy of them, so we don't need those anymore. Remove branch. See, weird stuff happens. See, sometimes you think something bad, but since I removed the branch, it removed the file pointing towards the texture for that last part. So somehow it's all mechanically done on the chest and blah 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 blah. So we have that. Last thing I'm gonna do is add one last thing. I like the snowberry, so I just want the tri-shape. I don't want all this other fade node, BSX flags, collision. So I'm going to copy branch. You can even paste it on Mara or wherever, but you should always try to just paste it and move it to where you need to. There's no drag and drop either, so which kind of sucks, but paste branch. So let's edit. At some point it'll come up. Okay, there it is. And you see, this is where the creative part, it'll go right through her head too if it allows you to do it. So look, as you see how it's coming together. So all of this is one NIF now. I have this is all a NIF, and I'm going to save it as, or hold on, let me apply this. Apply, just because I like to keep everything clean. Even if you apply on the 9 nodes, it'll still keep the old. You see how this is coming down here? It remembers where it was. So if you hit apply, it takes that away. Try shape, apply, apply. Now, the reason earlier I had put this 9 node, let me see what time we're at. We're at 21 minutes. Okay, so I can come down, oops. You want to click the text down here for the name. And if you're scripting and stuff later on, this is what's going to allow you to add your scripts by the name of the statue Maro01 brackets or whatever that is, 0 or chess01 into your script, and it'll allow it to snap to node and those kinds of things. But I'm just going to call it objects movable. So what I'm going to do, copy branch, and I'm going to move it to paste branch into movable, remove that branch. I'm going to copy this into movable objects, or objects movable, paste branch. Remove branch. Copy this into, I gotta do stuff a little bit slow so I don't mess up. Branch. And I'm gonna put the wraith in there too, just to objects movable, paste branch, remove the other one since we don't need it. So I left statue Amara, but all the other ones are now underneath objects. 9 node is just a category or a folder or a place that you could see, that you could put it, and they're all attached to this node right here. This is the BS node, and it shows what everything's connected to. You'll see a little string right there. I could get rid of that by applying, but we don't want to really get into that. I want to keep this kind of short, even though it's getting long. Okay. So objects movable can now be, see? Let me move it out of the way so you can see a little bit better. I'm using the arrow keys, like I said, to adjust those 3 objects I applied into the 9 node. And when you get into other more advanced stuff like animations and stuff like that, you'll see at the bottom there's a yellow dot, and this is why it keeps the old. See right there, that's, you can see it says 0, But if I start going down, and it'll show the yellow, and it'll also show how it is. R is for rotate. You literally have animations doing this all the time, but I'm not going to get into that. You can change the way that stuff works also by hitting this E-ruler. I'm going to reject everything and have it go back. So E-ruler turns it like this. Euler, Bueller, I don't know how to say it correctly, so just humor me, please. Scale. Let's go up small. You can make them small. Sometimes they won't work though, or they'll act weird. But you can make them, let's say, 50%. Now this is a weird, you want to go 0.5 or 5, 4. So let's see how it's smaller now. But let's say I just want to, I want to keep those small, and I want to apply this one to be bigger, so I can put it behind Mara's head. Edit, Y, yeah, it takes forever. That's one thing. There might be a way to adjust the speed of it. I want to set the scale. Yeah, that looks good. There we go. I know that these look kind of weird, but as you can tell, that's you can adjust all that. But we have a NIF, we have a resource. You can package this up, you can follow my other tutorial and add collision to it, and you can add it to your game as a whole object, or make a whole pack. Do whatever you want. Retexturing and everything like that can be done in the kit under texture sets and stuff like that. And each of these, if you click on this and you go into the kit, it will, let's say, a chest. You go under texture set and you try to change it under the NIF, which I'm going to do right now. Actually, I'm going to save this. My NIF Mara. When you save something, you always want to go save as and then overwrite it, because for whatever reason NifScope sometimes doesn't just save. So these are the little things that I'm trying to get you to understand. That way you don't run, you just can save some time. So we open up my Mara. Ignore all this collision. This all will be taken care of in a different video. I'm going to take my Mara. I'm going to go to my Skyrim data folder. I'm going to go to my meshes. I'm going to go to my personal LVX Magic folder where I keep all my NIFs. I'm going to drop it in there, and I'm going to open up the creation kit. If you're wondering why I have dark mode, I use creation kit fixes. They allow stuff to load extremely fast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add kind of wish I would have kept my, let's do it this. I'm gonna use my boat mod to show you what I'm talking about by adding it into the game. Okay, so I have to be honest, I totally forgot about Skyrim just updated, so I won't be able to show you in game what it looks like due to time and everything. But see, here's a Bodor, okay? I have it in the preview. I double click it. I'm gonna call it Mara Junk. Now that's blasphemous. Mara Objects. And I'm gonna go to Model. And this is what I'm talking about. You see Ship Ore 01. If I go into NIP Scope, that will be in the tree. Those are nodes with tri-shapes. So I'm going to go down to LVX Magic, My Mara, and then I'm going to close that. I'm going to preview it again, and it's still not there. Oh, I didn't hit OK. Okay. There we go. There's your NIF. Now, just remember, there's no collision in it, but your NIF's there, all your objects, and it looks pretty cool to tell you the truth. I like what I did with the read. I made that up as I went, and that's the beauty of this whole creation process. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you learned how to do it. It's very simple, and please give me your feedback. Please check out my mods on the Nexus under LVX Magic. Also username LVX Magic. And I hope you guys have a good day, and make some mods. Alright, late.